Thank you, Judith. Couple of things. We're going to talk about change, particularly the commercialization of the university and its involvement in economic development and workforce development. So we're going to talk a little bit about the history, what are we doing here at NJIT, and how we involved in the ever-changing commercialization of technology. Just by way of background, as you can see on the screen, a little information about NJIT. We are one of the 34 technological institutes in the United States. Very unique, very intense, very standalone, so we can do the critical work that is necessary in the development of technology. You get a little sense of our undergraduate population, our graduate enrollment, our degree programs, all STEM focused, and we offer baccalaureates through PhDs. You already heard a comment from Judith about the Albert Dorman Honors College. That is a little over 15 years old. It was created to attract some of the highest achieving students in the United States to this campus. We realize that to drive technology, innovation, and commercialization, you need a great talent pool. And we're trying to develop that talent pool, in particular, from the ground up for our Honors College. 685 students, about 15% of our undergraduate enrollment. And again, these are students who are top performers nationwide. NJIT is a public research university. And we reached a milestone this past year in doing $100 million in research. As we've been engaging this research entity, we have secured 134 patents. 60 of them are to third parties. So that means we're moving them into the licensing phase. We have focused on three particular areas of research. And we're doing that, and we would encourage others to do it as well, as with regard to the social impact, the social relevance of these areas of research, and also that they are interdisciplinary. We have faculty, undergraduates, which I'll talk about shortly, as well as graduate students, working in the three areas: sustainable systems, everything green, digital everywhere, including wearable digital devices, and of course this convergence of life and healthcare sciences along with technology and engineering. Medical sciences is following the route that was initiated in the engineering practices and engineering processes. A little bit about the history. Post-World War II, we already heard a little bit about the Sputnik era, heavily funded from the federal government, NIH, NSF, DOD, DARPA. That period evolved into an R&D period that became industrial-based. And there's some notable inventions. I cite these because of NJIT's involvement in part with them. Kazuo Hashimoto, gentleman who was prolific as an inventor, over 1,000 patents, and including the telephone answering machine and caller ID. John Mooney, an alum of NJIT, a critical invention, co-inventor for the catalytic converter for automobiles. Dr. Louis Kamensky took the early science of Pap smear and commercialized it into technology while he was a PhD student at Cornell. He was an undergraduate here. Dick Sweeney, still involved, an alum at NJIT, and some of you may in fact be using his K-Cup system and the machine that he designed. 1980, a change in the patent laws, which basically encouraged universities to get into the innovation and the patent business. And in particular, allowing universities to license to commercialization and to share the revenue that grew out of federally funded research with the inventors, with our faculty. The university historically has been a center of knowledge. This began to move the universities here in this country toward a center of commercialization. So faculty were incented to produce research and to commercialize. It obviously unleashed a great entrepreneurial spirit across the campuses in the United States in particular. Tens of thousands of patents thousands of new companies, and billions of dollars in licensing revenue were generated during this period and have continued. However, we're also seeing another change in this whole issue of research and commercialization. That is, the basic research that was done during this growth era in the 80s of industrial supported R&D is declining. We are also seeing that there is a decline in the federal funding. And as we anticipate this next round of federal reductions, we know that there needs to be another paradigm, a little bit of a different design as to how some of the research gets done. Research, again, leading to commercialization. So we're recommending 3 items here. One is, there's an old axiom about politics. Well, all economic and workforce development is local. It is local. And therefore, we need to see bridges being built between industry, government, and the universities as the research gets again moved from research to commercialization. So we need the interface, and that usually has been increasingly initiated by state governments as you look around, particularly some of those in the southern part of the United States. Bridge funding, critically important in moving, again, the intellectual property from the research to commercialization. Where is the money in between? New Jersey, in fact, had a history of doing some of this during the 1980s and 90s. There was a very active commission on science and technology, and there was a whole opportunity of challenge grants. Universities were challenged here in New Jersey to go ahead and get engaged in the research, the commercialization, and the licensing of that technology. So we're looking for governments, local governments, state governments, to step up and begin to seed some of that bridge funding. Again, it's local. It comes to the state economic and workforce development. Here we also are proposing that as you do this, look at the industry clusters that already exist in part in your state. In the state of New Jersey, we have a particular series, a group of 5 clusters. There's bio and pharma related to life sciences, transportation and logistics, finance, advanced manufacturing, technology, and healthcare. Again, interdisciplinary areas, an interdisciplinary approach to doing the research and the commercialization. Third, and most important, we need an ecosystem of innovation. And in fact, there's a couple policy papers in the state of New Jersey that somewhat describe that ecosystem. Interdisciplinary research, leading to patents, licensing, commercialization, economic and workforce development in that region. So those are the 3 recommendations that we are making to go forward to continue to have this state, this nation, lead in economic and workforce development. Fourth, proposing a fostering of undergraduate research. Again, we said we built the Honors College in particular as a research university to attract talented, very creative, very imaginative young people to get engaged early on in research. So here are some examples. Freshmen in the Honors College are working in teams of 4, and they have to identify a project. During their 4 years, these teams of 4 people working on this project, they're going to be involved in doing the research, doing the design, the prototyping, beta testing, the business plan, approaching patenting, licensing, and commercializing these ideas. Again, it's building the foundation that we think is critical to kickstart more of this effort across universities in this country. Let me give you 2 examples of some of the work that was started by freshmen this past year. First one in front of you is Autism Mind. The students, as they are 18 and 19-year-olds, think about toys, even as 18 and 19-year-olds. And their proposal here is to have interactive learning toys to improve the cognitive deficiencies that we often see in autistic children. So that's one idea that they will be developing. They have outside industrial mentors, company mentors, and they have faculty mentors from here at NJIT. Another idea is sustainable home energy system. Here they're talking about utilizing bio-waste electrolysis and hydrogen fuel cells. Again, some green efficiency alternative energy. So those are some of the things that we are thinking about. And how do we, again, kickstart the research, bring it to commercialization, and improve and have an impact, a very positive impact on our society. We ask you to think about those, consider them as you go forward with your TEDx. Thank you very much.